Welcome to Ocean Institute. My name is Andrea Smith and I'm the Public Programs Weekend Manager here. And since you can't come to Ocean Institute, we wanted to bring Ocean Institute to you. Today we're talking about everybody's favorite invertebrate, and that's our moon jellies. So we're going to talk a little bit about their life cycle, their anatomy, and then we're going to do a craft where we make our own jellies. So let's talk a little bit about the moon jelly life cycle. They of course start as larvae. They sink down to the ocean floor to attach to form a polyp. Looks kind of like an anemone, but it's a polyp. From a polyp it becomes a strobulated polyp. What's strobulating? Well, basically it's when it's agitated, and it's basically doing this. It's trying to break off these parts, which then become a thyra, what we like to call our baby jellies, and then they form into more of a jelly type structure with the juvenile medusa right here, and then they grow into adult male and female medusas, and the whole process starts all over again. So now that you have a little bit of the idea of the life cycle, I'm going to go ahead and put husbandry's tool back, and we are going to go over and talk a little bit about jelly anatomy. So we have our adult jelly medusas floating around in here. The easiest part to identify on a jelly is the bell, of course, which is the top right here. You can also see through the top of the bell, it's 4 stomachs. 4 is the general number that they'll have, but we do have some that have 5 and some that have 3, so if you happen to find that, it's just a little genetic mutation, but it's totally fine. And then, of course, dangling down from the jelly, or up, depending on how they're floating, those are their oral arms. What we call their tentacles are the hairs right here. If we can get a close-up on that, that would be excellent. Those are the tentacles of the moon jelly there. And those are very important because that's how the jelly gets food up to its stomach. So it will catch it with its oral arms, pass it along to its tentacles, then its tentacles pass it along to its stomachs. That's a little bit about our moon jellies and their anatomy. If you can hear that hum in the background, that's actually our moon jelly system that's keeping them happy and healthy and floating around in our circle. Now that we know all the parts of our moon jelly, let's go make one. So what do you need to make your own moon jellies? Well, you only need a few things that you probably already have around the house. You need either a coffee filter, be sure to ask your parents first, make sure they have enough, or a cupcake holder that you would use to bake cupcakes. You need some ribbon for our oral arms of our jelly. You need some tape. And if you want to get really, really creative with coloring your jelly, you can use either markers, crayons, or paint. So you'll need those items, and if you're going to paint, you need a paintbrush of any kind that you have hanging around the house. For the sake of time, I am not going to paint my coffee filter today. It's also very close to the color of our actual moon jellies, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it that color. So your coffee filter or your cupcake holder, whichever one you want to use, however big you want your jellies to be, totally up to you, is of course the bell of your jelly, or the top. If you've seen Finding Nemo, it's the part they bounce on to get across. So this is the bell of your jelly. What's the next most important part of your jelly? Well, of course, it's the oral arms that hang down. They need to be able to eat, right? So you are going to use your ribbon. You have it here, you have it at home, totally up to you. I think my jelly is going to be pink and black today. Alright. So I'm going to cut 2 strings each. These are different types of ribbons, so you'll be able to see one's really curly and one's kind of dangly, but it does add some dimension to your jelly. Now in the top of your bell, you wouldn't want to do this to a real jelly, but to our jelly we have here, you are going to cut 4 little holes right in the top. Because how many stomachs does a jelly have? 4! That's right, unless you are a genetic mutant, and if you would like to make a genetic mutant, you can do that too. jelly, and it's totally up to you. So take one of these strings. You're going to come up through the bottom. Put it through your cut about halfway, right about there. And then the hole across from that one, you can see it right there. You're going to loop it through. And there's your first set of oral arms. You can bring it through till it's at a length you like there, demonstrating the jelly process for you. And then take a piece of tape. If you have clear tape, it's better than blue tape. But you know, we gotta use what we got around. So my jelly's gonna have little blue tops today. That's okay, we're getting creative. Take your second one and repeat the process. Up through your jelly stomach here, about halfway. Pull across from it. I like to reuse the same piece of tape because why waste materials? You're going to need them for other crafts with us, right? So just re-tape so you're holding your oral arms in place. And there you have it, a super simple, easy, and anatomically correct version of a jelly that you can make at home. If you're wondering where the tentacles are, you can make them if you want to. You just cut little frames right in your jelly bell. But it would take me about 10 minutes to do the whole thing on this big jelly, so I'm going to leave that up to you. Thanks for learning with me today about jelly life cycle, jelly anatomy, and how to make your very own jelly. I had a lot of fun. If you like our videos, please do consider using the link below to support Ocean Institute. And we'll see you next time.